Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We're in Austin, Texas, cloudy, and looks like misty Austin, Texas. We're carrying on with our Formula One support series. We're going to be flying from here down to Mexico City, flight time of 1 hour and 47 minutes. So this will not be a split stream. We're going to do this in one shot since it is a short flight. Kevin should be joining us. I think he's loading in, so we should see him in a minute. But we're going to be heading out of here in the 747-8 freighter. We're starting to get towards the end of the series. We got a few more races to go to and a few more places to fly. But I can see us wrapping this up by the end of the year, so that should be pretty good. Anyway, let's get on board the aircraft. We can start getting her set up, and hopefully Kevin will be along pretty quickly. All right, we're on board. This is the default Asobo 747 with the new update. And I'm really liking it. It is turning into a pretty good aircraft, and lots of cool things you can do with it now. Anyway, let's go down everything here. So we'll come up top, and let's actually go to the view here. Turn the battery on. Can hear everything starting to come up. Standby power will go to auto. The hydraulic pumps will all come off. Wipers are off. Nav lights will go to on. Logo light will go on. Landing gear lever is confirmed down. There she is. Parking brake is confirmed on. Throttles are in idle cutoff. And let's get up here and hook up. External power is available, so we'll turn the external power on for the aircraft. And we'll get the APU up and running as well. APU has now started. And we'll switch over to APU generators when we're ready. Let's pop over to the air conditioning panel here. Make sure everything is good. Valves are good. Temperatures are all set to auto. And we are good there. Upper and lower recirculation fans are on. Temperature controls set to auto. Cabin controls set to Argo Carbo. Temperature is set. Trim air is on. Get the packs on, and the APU bleed is on. Engine bleeds are all off for the main engines. Over to the IRSs, we'll go left, center, and right, all to nav. Alright, we're also going to pop down here. We'll get the dome light turned up so we can see what we're doing, since it is a little bit dark down here today. Hey Nick, how's everything going? Hope you're doing well. There's that F-18 flying around. He's been kind of buzzing the field here for a little bit. Oh, I think that's Kevin right beside us there. Let's just pop out. There he is. In an SAS, well, at least for us. I know that's not what he's flying, but I don't have the livery he's in, so that is all good. But pretty cool old-fashioned SAS livery there. Looking good. Hey Kev, good to see you in. No, doing good. Just starting to look for hotels in Manchester for July, but other than that, looks like my cold is finally starting to go away, so feeling all good there. Alright, let's pop down to the FMS here. Everything is looking good, and the database is good to the 29th of October. We got 10 days left. So, into index, and we'll go to ident. Information is concerned. We'll then go position identification or position, and we're going to pull in the GPS and set her into there, and that is set. So over to the route page, and we are going to request our route for today. fairly short. We're basically traveling down to the Gulf Coast and following the Gulf Coast around until we cut inland for Mexico City. We'll load the route. There we go, and we will execute. As we can see, KAUS, Austin, Texas, MMMX is our destination, Mexico City, and we're Skyways 5556. Alright, so that is in. If we go to the next page, you can see our route. Pretty simple. Couple airways, couple directs, and we're there. So that is good. Over to the legs page. Again, fairly simple. Looking good. So we're executed there. Going to go into our departure and arrival now. So for our departure, let me grab the current winds here in Austin. The weather's kind of closed in. We're looking currently, the winds are calm. But we're looking at 4 miles of visibility in fog and mist, overcast at 500 feet, and 294. So given where we're sitting and the winds being calm, we're going to take off on runway 18 right. And we're going off on the Binde 3 departure, no transition. Come back to our legs page, showing vectors. Which is correct. We're going to take off and then we'll be climbing to 1,000 feet. Then we'll make a vector turn to guards and then off to Binde, and then we'll carry on our route for our arrival today into Mexico City. The winds are currently 060 at 3. So we're going to be landing the ILS Zulu runway 05 right. Okay, so we'll come over here. We'll go to our arrival. So it's going to be the ILS Zulu 05 right. And we're going in on the Omega 2 Alpha arrival. Check the transition. Sorry about that. And SUTAS is correct. And we'll execute that. It's going to give us vectors again, I believe. No, actually it shouldn't. So if we go to our legs page again, there's the waypoints as we come in. And no, SUTAS, and then M109, and then MX900. That's all good. Of course, Mexico City, the elevation there is 7,292 feet, so a bit of a high altitude landing. But that is all looking good for our route. All right, so from there, we'll go to our performance initialization. And actually, let's go to here, index. Go to our weight and balance before we do any of that stuff. I want to enter in our numbers here. So our fuel we're carrying today on today's flight, it's a light load, 30,896. And our Passengers and cargo. Now I want to get up here to where I can see the gross weight. We want a gross weight of 13,018. So we're almost there. So we're going to add a little bit more cargo and passengers. We're going to go up to 350 on the passenger count. And we'll add to the cargo. So we want to add 13, 23, 33, 35 tons. So that'll be 43257. So gross weight 314.9. I want, we're a little high, so let's go 41257. That is pretty close to the weight we're going to be. All right. So we are good there. We can return back to index and back to performance. So zero fuel weight is 283.0. And our reserve fuel for today's flight is going to be 4,567, so 4.5 tons. That is entered in. Cost index, we fly at 90, and we're going up to 37,000 feet for today's flight. That is all good there. Thrust limits. Don't have a calculator, so we'll just leave all that as it is and take off. We're going to be doing a flaps 10. Center of gravity is set. Runway 18 right is good. We can enter in the winds, which are calm, so 180 at 0. And there are our V speeds, 138, 146, and 166. Just going down the list. All right. So do our final checks here. IRSs are all on. Now we'll go over to APU generators now. Electrical panel set. Batteries are set. We got the air going. Standby power set to auto. Utilities left and right are on. APU is on. APU generators are on. External power switches are now off. Bus tie is set to auto. Generators are all on with off illuminated. Hydraulics are all off. Internal lighting is set as we want it. That's fine. Emergency lights are armed and guarded. Fuel pump switches are all off. Cross feeds are on. Window heat. Let's get over here so I can see it a little bit better. Window heats are on. Anti-ice is going to auto. Engines and wings. Yaw damper is set to auto. Or set on. The dampers are on. Air conditioning is set and up and running, and lighting panel is set. Alright, down to the glare shield, EFIS panel. Altimeters are 2994. We'll set that in. 2994 set and checked. Terrain, weather, and traffic are turned off. ND mode is selected. Flight directors are both now on. Auto throttle is armed. Auto deselect bar is up. LNAV and VNAV are pre-selected. We have Toga and LNAV VNAV armed. B2 speed is 166 plus 10, so that's going to be 176. Is set. Altitude is going to be flight level 370. That is set. Bank limit to auto. And heading select to runway heading of 175 degrees. Just waiting for that to crank around. .175 degrees set. Alright, Fred sides 40 range cross is good. Sidewall panel is oxygen, mask is tested and stowed, CRT display brightness is set. Flight instruments are checked. Flight displays are checked. CRTs are fine. Landing gear lever is down. RTO selected. Fuel quantity is checked. Speed brake lever is down. Thrust levers are idlers. Reverse restored. Parking brake is on. Flaps are up and reading up. Fuel control switches are cut off. Transponder, we're going to go for 2000 and on standby. And seatbelt signs for the workers in the back are set. Alright, we are good to go. Let's get down here. Let's get our radios tuned in. We're 122.800. Austin Terminal, Skyways 5556 radio check. Oh, actually, before we do that, I forgot to go over here to the voice channel. Kevin, if you want to join me over there. And we'll do a radio check before we get going. So windows and doors are closed. APU is up and running. APU bleeds are on. APU generators are on. External power is disconnected. Hydraulic pumps are now on. Fuel pumps are all on. No fuel in the center tank, so we can ignore the center switches. Beacon light is coming on. Stab trim, we want 3.8 on the trim. There's 3.8 on the trim. Aileron trim and rudder trim are confirmed, set to 0. Transponder standby.
Austin traffic shuttle carrier 1 Tango radio check.
Loud and clear, house me.
5x5, thank you very much for shuttle carrier one tango.
He's actually in a NASA plane carrying a space shuttle. Wish I could see it, but I'll take him as Scandinavian. That's fine. Alright, so we are good. So let's get the pushback going. Who's doing this? A-Sig? Yeah, you're fine. And we're going to be facing west. So I'm going to push back. Ooh, that line's pretty close. Might get a little bit of aircraft overlap here, but we'll see what happens. I might go for a straight back push instead. As you can see, it's very misty and foggy. Dew point and temperature are the same, so we're getting ground level condensation forming. Not sure why I'm not hearing these guys today. Interesting that that's stopped working. I'll have to check to see if there's an update. Interesting. Yeah, we'll go straight back and manual stop. Yeah. Austin area traffic, Skyways 5556 North Cargo Apron, pushing straight back for engine start. Austin. There we go. Yeah, don't know why I wasn't getting anything there. Anyway, we're good for engine starts. Everything is up and running. Let's start engines 1 and 2. We have N1 rotation. We'll add fuel. And when she's ready, she'll start sucking in the fuel. There they go. Just going to keep an eye on how far back they're going to push us here. And you stop, so they're going to be stopping here. Alright, brakes are on. Looks like we got a good start on 3 and 4, so we're going to start 1 and 2. We have rotation. Make the fuel available for them. Didn't hear Kevin there either. Kevin, not sure if you broadcasted your push. It's weird. Our starter cutout. So we have good engine starts. Get them to disconnect. So, after start checklist. Coming up top, engine bleeds, all 4 engines. Engine bleeds are on. Generators are on. The off lights are off. APU generator is coming offline now. APU will be switched off. APU bleed will come off. Anti-ice is set to auto flight controls. Oops. Pop down, bring up my flight control page. It's full left, full right,
And
neutral, full forward.
One here, go heavy
Full
radio
back.
check, please.
This guy weighs 55, 56, loud and clear.
Radio check seems to fix it. Thank you.
Alright, so there we go with flight controls. Back to our fuel page. Auto brakes are set to RTO, and flaps going to flaps 10. Flight deck door is closed and locked. ATC clearance will be self-cleared. We're going to taxi out via the apron Victor holding short runway 18. Alright, so taxi light and turn off lights are now on. Let's just take a look out here, make sure the ground equipment is all clear. Yeah, he's walking away. Should show the pin. There he is. There's our push cart is gone. Give him a wave. There we go. We are good to leave. Austin traffic, Skyways 5556 North Cargo apron, taxiing runway 18 right via the apron Victor, hold short 18 right. Alright, so brakes on, parking brake is off. I'm gonna come up on the power. Get us around. Let's just turn off the cross feeds. It should be feeding off of each one their equal values. There we go. Alright, trying to power up. Get around this corner here. There we go. Let's just get her rolling. There we are. Got the big bird moving. Looking good. I think I've got, there's the stabilizer camera. Be nice if this had an inside model for the aircraft. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Austin traffic, shuttle carrier 1 Tango taxing to hold runway 18 right via Victor.
There we go. Pop back inside. And here we are. So, Before takeoff, verify FMA, toga, LNAV, VNAV, armed, flaps, verified 10 degrees, set for transport. Transponder set to TA. And weather radar, terrain, and he got set. We're going to set mine for 10. I'm going to give weather radar over to that side, and we'll go terrain on mine. And it is all set. I'll go data as well. Traffic is now on both sides. MCP autopilot panel is set. Landing lights are on. Strobe and wing lights are now on as well. Austin area traffic, Skyways 55, 56 heavy, taking position 18 right. We got ourselves down and ready to go. Big beast of an airplane here. Fortunately, she doesn't quite turn like the real one when you're at low speed here. Trying to get that nose around. That's pretty good. All right, we are in place. So, clock is running. Engines to 40%. Engines are stabilized. Austin area traffic, Skyways 55, 56 heavy. Departing runway 18 right on the Bandy Alpha 3 departure. So brakes released. Airspeed's live. Knots. It's just a checklist. Don't worry about that. I don't follow the onboard one. Rotate. Aiming for the flight directors.
Austin traffic, shuttle carrier 19.
There we go. Positive rate. Gear up.
My colleague.
Autopilot on through 1,000 feet. We're gonna head to guards, make the turn, flaps 5. Flaps 1. Just clear the checklist here. There we go. And flaps full. Full retract. We can come out on our
Traffic shuttle 1 Tango shuttle carrier 1
heading here.
1 right number 3.
That's us through 6,000 feet. We are doing a little bit of a rocket climb here. Austin area traffic, Skyways 55, 56, heavy. We are 10 miles from guards, climbing through 7,400, last transmission, Austin area. We're pretty light fuel-wise, so we're climbing out like a rocket here. It's pretty good. It's 9,000. And 10,000 feet. So lights will come off. Turn off lights, taxi lights, wing lights, and logo lights are off. We can let the crew get up and around. Maybe someone will put the kettle on in the back. Make us a nice cup of tea. Accelerating up to our high speed climb speed. And we are looking at, we're above the clouds now, very nice. Of course, it's an early morning departure here in Austin. Beat some of the night flights we've been doing, but we're going to be in the sun for this one. So as we're through 12,000 feet, let's bring up the map. No, don't want it to load. Just looking for the map. So we're heading towards Bendia. And everything is looking good. So we're going to basically head out this way over the central South Texas, then come down here. We hit here at Corpus Christi. We hit the coast, and we follow the coast pretty much all the way down to within 150, 200 miles of Mexico City, at which point we will then turn inboard and head up onto the big plateau where Mexico City is located. We're going to be doing a flaps, I think it's 25 landing. We're not going full flaps for landing given the altitude. We'll keep a little bit of extra speed up since here is going to be a bit thinner, but it should be a good flight. There's 18,000 over to standard. That's set and checked. And everything is looking good there. Alright, so we're going to assume a position here in the cockpit. It'll give us a view out the front here, and as we have no IFE in the system, we can't use that, but I did bring my laptop along. So I'll just put my laptop up here, and we'll be able to watch a short little movie as we're heading down to Mexico. So let me just find the controls, since I haven't used this one in a while. There we go. So I'm going to go off mic. I'll be in the chat, and we'll be able to converse back and forth there. I'll be back on the mic for the briefing as we come into Mexico itself. But enjoy the flight, and we'll talk to you in about an hour.
The sea, as old as the world itself. It extends over 3/4 of the surface of the globe. The sea, the birthplace of life, the great storehouse of minerals, the prison of haunting mysteries. The ocean is a dangerous jungle. Each creature preys relentlessly upon another. Each animal is equipped with an effective weapon: speed, camouflage, knife-like teeth, poison. Since time began, the ocean has withheld its secrets. Man has ventured merely to its threshold. Oceanographers have, with precise instruments, presented us with a framework of facts. Around these facts, our imaginations reconstruct the eerie, forbidding atmosphere of the deep. Scientists, working with sonic equipment, discovered a mysterious layer which returned an answer to sound waves. This layer measured over 300 miles and lay 1,500 feet below the surface. It was soon noted that the phantom layer rose to the surface at night and descended to the deep water in the daytime. It is composed of living creatures capable of locomotion that are apparently strongly repelled by sunlight. Some oceanographers believe the layer to be made up of plankton. Others suggest that it is a gigantic concentration of fish. The most startling theory about the phantom layer is that it is composed of millions of squid. This theory is supported by the fact that squid are tremendously abundant. As the sun's rays become weak and soon turn into complete darkness, the fish are all black, brown, or silver. In the blackness of the deep sea, the strange phenomenon of luminescence is found. Half the fish that inhabit the darkened waters are able to turn their luminous torches on or off at will. Lower forms of life are known to have this luminous ability as well. Some fish have rows of lights. Perhaps these are signals, signs of recognition. The deep sea squid ejects a fluid which becomes luminous, a counterpart to the ink ejected by his cousin who lives in shallow water. The eyes of many creatures who live in the black world are enlarged and protruding, making the most of the intermittent lights which may reach them. On the other hand, some animals have no eyes at all. They have developed and perfected antennae and feelers. Their entire world is known to them through the sense of touch. Several years ago, a fish was caught alive off the southeast tip of Africa. It was an amazing sight. This animal was supposed to have been dead for at least 60 million years. After this discovery, they found the frill shark. He lived 25 to 30 million years ago. Perhaps there are other such anachronisms to be found in this region about which we know so little, other links with the past. Perhaps we can find the answers to many of these questions. We are now prepared to invade this black wilderness. I hope you enjoyed the pictures. We had a great time filming them. As most of you know, tomorrow marks the completion of Mr. Matheny's diving bell. I hope the next film we make will give us a lot more information.
You really think you'll find it much different at greater depths?
Occasionally, a new species may rise briefly to about 100 feet from the surface and be seen by a diver. They return quickly, however, to about 600 feet. We intend to see what may exist thousands of feet below that.
Matheny, I've had a lot of admiration for the things you've been doing in shipbuilding and navigation equipment. But this diving bell of yours is sheer nonsense. It's a waste of money.
I'm sorry you don't share our enthusiasm.
Even if it does work, which is doubtful, does that justify the cost involved? Curiosity is one thing, but you spent over $70,000 on a toy.
Have you ever heard of Millard Wyman?
Of course, I've read his books, and I believe he's your brother.
He believes the sea could hold a food supply vast enough to feed the entire world.
You built this bell for him?
I'm afraid Mr. Wyman needs no help from us. He had his practically completed at the time we began.
But then what's the sense of enough?
No frontier was ever explored by just one expedition. Our first dive will be in the Pacific, then we'll try the Gulf. Right now, Wyman is in the Caribbean. He's making his first attempt with his bell somewhere along the southeastern Keys.
Good. Better take a rest while I double-check the bell.
I'll be ready as soon as I get the boat.
Page says our location is perfect. Looks like a big moment's finally here.
Well, Maury and I are all set. How about Miss Marshall?
Yes,
No, never mind. I'll get her for you.
Try to relax, Wyman. You should be elated, not worried.
I guess I'm too anxious. Look at me and think I was the one going down there.
Wait a minute. We shouldn't release anything until I come back up here with a picture. What do you think I'm going down in that contraption for? Look, we'll have an absolute exclusive on this. Every wire service will get the depth information, but we'll be the only ones with the actual pictures. Now, doesn't that make me pretty sense?
Come on, lady reporter. The time has come for your promotion. Or should I say demotion?
Well, whatever it is, Skipper, you won't lose me on this show.
I'll go on back to shore and call the office.
Well, just to make a good picture, hold it. Thank you. goodbye, Phil.
Good luck, Dale. Good luck, Dale.
Thank you.
Good luck, Dale. I know you're disappointed that Tom couldn't make it, but I just couldn't get him to come up. He asked me to give you this.
Well, I hope he knows what he's doing. Because I do.
There, good order. Suppose I should make a fool of myself telling him what this day means to me. Well, you people are taking my place in a way. I feel as if you've been working with me since the beginning.
We're very grateful to be able to have a part in it.
You'll be going deeper than any man has ever attempted before. I wish I could go along with you.
I know how you feel, Mr. Wyman. But I'll be talking to you every inch of the way.
I know, Craig, but not quite the same thing. Well, good luck, Craig.
Thank you.
Paul, Mr. Wyman. You girls will let me down now. Take care of these fellows if they get scared. Stand by the dropper. Craig, you ready?
Ready whenever you are.
Air pressure okay?
Fine.
Everything's 100%.
Here we go. All right. Ready?
Tilt at 2 degrees. Release 1 pellet from the left ballast tube. Another one. That's got it.
We just passed 1,000 feet, Craig. How's it going?
Everything's fine. Just please 2 pellets get a balance.
Now. Is it getting dark?
No, not yet.
Can't be any sun penetrating now. You're almost 1,700.
That's funny. Only half the lights are working.
Check to the cable, no brakes.
Craig, are you okay?
I don't know. The lights.
Craig, what happened?
I think something's buckling.
Craig, what's buckling, Craig?
The cable slid. We're hanging over to one side. I think we're gonna...
Craig! Craig! Can you hear me? Craig! Hello? Yes, he is. Just a moment.
Hello? No, hello, Hank. How's everything? What?
One of my reporters radioed from the ship. He'll interview Wyman before the launch gets out there.
Can't believe it. The conditions were ideal. I see. Yes, of course I do. You can reach me here. I'll be in Oldham. Thanks for calling, Hank. Your brother's attempt was a complete failure. The bell broke loose at 1,700 feet.
Should we contact the ship?
I'm afraid we'll have to sit tight until Hank's men get into Key West. He promised to call us as soon as he hears from them.
barge in on you this way. We'll be leaving the ship soon. I wonder if you'd give me some information.
Saw everything. What can I add?
Would you mind telling me something about the occupant? I know Dale Marshall, but not much about the other three.
The other three, as you put it, were very brave people. Overconfident as I was.
Well, had they been working with you long?
Laurie and Paul were students of mine. She's over oceanography. Craig joined us a bit later on. Mainly, I suppose, because of Laurie's devotion.
Well, did they have any part in actually designing the bell?
No, I'm afraid not. I am the only one who's responsible for that.
Well, what do you believe went wrong today?
I don't know. If I did, it wouldn't help matters.
Well, the bell obviously had a weakness. You must have some idea where it was.
It was planned for search. I don't know.
The public will take a pretty dim view of your research.
I suppose so. But a penny to me doesn't matter now.
Great evening. Give it to Miss Marshall.
Craig, did we?
Yeah. I don't know how deep we are. You feel all right?
I think so.
Marshall, stop it! Hold yourself!
How much time do you think we have?
Oxygen tank only holds 100 cubic feet.
Well, at least the shut-off valves worked. We could have been flooded when the cable broke. Although I don't know what good it is to prolong the inevitable.
Laurie worked with Wyman for 3 years to build this. Dale Marshall was going to get a big story. You were going to see new sea creatures for the first time. Pretty noble ambitions to be blown up by one engineering mistake.
Oh, well, I probably wouldn't have seen any new...
Craig. We're not on the bottom. There's light out here. We must be on some kind of a shelf not too far below the surface. I don't see how that's possible because we dropped out of the penetration of light.
Well, how could we have moved up to it?
I don't know. At this point, I couldn't care less.
Will we be able to get out of this thing?
Look, at this level, the pressure shouldn't bother us.
We should be miles in the darkness. If we're not.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's check out of here.
It'll probably be a long old haul to get to the surface. Just remember, try not to get panicky. Well, you better go first. Give the girl somebody to follow.
Right.
Captain! Mr. Wyman! Come here, quick!
Do they have a chance to make it?
The pressure's much too great for survival of that depth.
Then why would they attempt to leave the bell?
Not knowing how deep they went, I suppose they figured it was worth a try.
Isn't there something we can do? Some way that...
They'll never make it to the surface even without the pressure. I'm afraid they were crushed the moment they left the bell. What we see is their bodies floating upward with the currents.
Calling ships in vicinity of longitude 23, latitude 75. Please stand by to search the area. Repeating, ships in vicinity of Marlin 8, please stand by to assist.
JCR 774. We're about a quarter of a mile north by east of original location. I have a diver descending. He'll cover 1,000 yards moving south by west. I'll advise of any results.
Got it. Over and out.
How long do you think it'll take for the bodies to reach the surface? It's been quite some time since we lost them on the sonar.
They may not come up this far at all. Prepare to move out if we don't spot them in about 5 hours.
I know it's none of my business, but didn't you have your own money tied up in that bell? I mean, it was your own project with no affiliation.
None of the universities had any confidence in it. Only myself. Those down there.
I understand there's another bell ready, built by an outfit in California.
My younger brother designed it. They'll be interested in finding out where mine failed. I suppose we'll never know the answer to that.
Fantastic. There must be miles upon miles of these tunnels.
Yeah. So many of them we could easily get lost. We better head back.
Yeah.
Our lives are a reprieve today, Laurie. I don't think we should get scared now.
I found the answer to one thing. These rocks are loaded with phosphorus. That's how the caverns were illuminated.
But did you find anything else? A way out?
We might be here a long time before we find a way out.
A long time.
You see, we're a good many miles beneath the surface. The bell went down all right, but it must have rolled into one of these openings. It'll be a long climb up, even if we do find a way.
What do you mean, if? We'll have to find a way.
Well, it'll be treacherous going, but we'll find a way out in time.
First things is to keep our heads and put something in our stomachs. Saw plenty of fish down there, and we can fashion some spears and rods in the bell.
You're going back to the bell?
Well, I don't think we'd get very far without our shoes and a few other things.
Look, as long as I'm going to be a caveman, I want to be comfortable. Come on, let's go.
We better work fast. The tank's nearly empty. Get out of here while we're still ahead. Anything else we can take? This compass will help us more than everything else put together. Let's go. Right.
Too soon. There's a storm following right now. Wait. Come in. Excuse me, sir, but I have something I believe is important. Yes?
Well, I called to you and Mr. Wyman while I was watching the sonar, but...
Well, apparently you didn't hear me, and I wanted to keep my eyes on the screen.
Saw the bodies again?
Well, sir, I don't know exactly what I saw, but I'm sure they weren't dead bodies. I saw two of the same masses move practically as they did before.
How do you know they're the same?
Well, the characteristics were identical, and they weren't floating. I'm positive they were moving under their own power.
How long did you have them?
Several minutes, sir. They moved along together, then one suddenly changed direction. I lost them at exactly the same spot as before.
You probably saw some large fish that were curious about the bell.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I've seen plenty of fish on that screen. I know this reading was of something else.
You said they changed direction. Currents are pretty strong at that depth.
But only one veered off. The other continued straight up.
Well, whatever the objects were, it's a cinch the bodies aren't going to float to the top, and we've wasted enough time as it is.
Sir, it's possible that
That'll be all, Wilson. Return to the radio room. I have problems enough with the storm to contend with.
Yes.
You know, if we had all the conveniences of a kitchen, I'd still prefer barbecue, just like...
When we leave here, what do we eat then?
Well, these caverns have water pools everywhere. Probably fishing all over. I also saw some planktonic shrimp back around the rocks.
Must really be late. Anyone as tired as I am?
You better get some sleep, Laurie. You too, Dale. We've been through a lot today, and we'll probably do a lot of walking tomorrow.
Dale and I found the crevice fairly dark inside. At least it'll feel like nighttime.
Don't worry about getting cold in there. I'll bet the temperature here doesn't vary 2 degrees.
You make it sound like Miami Beach. Come on. Not the ocean floor either. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Take all this diving gear along with us.
It's too heavy. Leave it right here.
What do you think our chances are? What do you really think?
You sound as though I haven't been leveling with Dale and Laurie.
I know you, Woody. You've got an uncanny ability to hide what you feel.
Oh, I've been diving for quite a few years. But the deepest I ever went was about 200 feet. Frankly, I haven't any more idea about where we are now than you do.
Haven't you ever heard of these underground caverns?
I've read some theories about the Earth being honeycombed with caverns containing air pockets.
Then the air we're breathing might not be coming from the surface.
Possibly not, if you want to believe theories.
How far down do you think we are?
No idea. Might find out something about the mineral deposits along the way.
Well, I guess only time will tell. I'm going to get some sleep. You know, I'll probably dream about breaking an altitude record in a helium balloon.
Made progress. No salt content. Probably good as any well water.
It's better.
Sure we can, Laurie. We'll rest until you're ready.
Before you get anything else to read.
When I need your advice, I'll ask for it.
Sorry. Didn't realize.
You don't realize a lot of things. Probably never will.
I didn't mean to intrude, Dale. It's just a friendly joke.
Friendly? Well, you just listen to me, Miss Innocent. There's nothing friendly between two females. There never was and there never will be.
Sorry you feel that way. Hoping we can help one another.
You don't need any help. Neither do I. Not as long as we have two men around us.
There's no opening. We're trapped.
Take it easy, Dale. We'll find one.
She's right. The only openings are small cracks. We couldn't possibly get through them.
We'll have to go back.
No, we shouldn't lose our direction. There's a water pool to the left, about 50 yards back. We'll have to try going through it.
And if that doesn't lead to another cabin?
Then we'll have to drop back to the fork and try another course. That'll mean losing a lot of time.
Well, let's try it.
Yeah, let's go.
Paul brings back plenty of shrimp. Feel like I could eat about 3 dozen of them.
You said there wouldn't be any shrimp around in the clear water, looking for some sort of crawfish.
Just so there are plenty of them.
So what's the difference? They both taste terrible.
I'm going to hunt up some roots for the fire. Come on. Look up. Take a look at that.
So we're not the first ones to be here. You know, it's not exactly my line, but I'd say he's been dead about 10 or 12 years.
Horrible. He probably kept walking until he dropped.
But this is the best indication we've had yet. This man could have come down here directly from the surface.
And I suppose he liked it so well, he decided to stay here and die.
Perhaps he just lost his way.
Is that any better? Craig! What on earth?
So he's a weirdo. Who else would come down here?
You're so right, Skipper. Listen, I don't care who leads us out.
Hello! Hello up there! Hello! I guess he can't hear us. Come on. Hello. Are we glad to see you?
What do you want here?
We don't want anything, except to get out. We were underwater in a diving bell. A cable snap dropping us to the bottom. That's the bell and found our way in here. You see, we were attempting to break a depth record. Oh, I'm Paul Whitmore. This is Craig Randall, Laurie Talbot, and Leo Marshall.
I've been here 14 years.
14 years?
I don't think we want to stay quite that long. Would you mind leading us out?
There is no way out.
But how did you get here? And that fellow back there?
He was killed long time ago. I was more fortunate.
But how did you get here?
The same as you.
And you haven't found a way out in all this time?
There is no way.
This is air we're breathing. It wouldn't be here if there weren't an opening to the surface.
The air comes from a volcano about 2 miles from here.
Are you sure of that?
I'll show it to you. Would you like to visit my home? It isn't far. I'll take you there.
rest.
Certainly made this place comfortable enough.
I carried stones here to make pots and flint for fire. Sometimes I traveled to the salt water to bring back seaweed.
Look at the size of this claw. There's no known species this large.
I use it to spear fish. But you have fine weapons. With them we can hunt much better.
Hey, are you positive there's no openings at the top, even a small one, we can hack out with supplemental tools?
I'll take you to the volcano so you can see for yourself. And then you will know as I do.
How soon can we start?
We must first have food. I have enough for all of us.
Do you think he really knows?
I don't think he knows up to now. But we'll have to go to find out if there is a volcano.
Well, there's no sense in all of us knowing. You and Laurie should take a breather.
You want us to stay here for a reason?
Well, we'll probably be taken through some pretty rough places, no telling how dangerous. I'd feel better if you stayed.
You all set, Greg?
Yep. The old man's been up there waiting for over an hour.
Don't you think he's a little eager to show us that volcano?
That's why I want the girls to stay down here.
Never did buy that story about that ship sinking 14 years ago. What do you think he's got up his sleeve?
Maybe nothing. I still think it'd be a good idea if you wait down here with Dale and Laurie.
Oh, now wait a minute, Daddy. I'm no babysitter. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll trade places with you.
Okay, you win. We'll both go. I think the girls will be all right as long as we stay with him.
Besides, they're planning a swimming party, and we weren't invited.
Too bad we can't get a sunset.
I can do without it. The sun always gives me a bad time. I got burned once at the beach and... Oh, well, it's not important.
You've been here quite a long time. They should be getting back.
Are you afraid they'll bring bad news?
Afraid I am.
I keep telling myself that old man couldn't possibly be right. I can't make myself believe it.
We'll know soon enough, one way or the other.
You know, I was afraid until I realized that if we do spend the rest of our lives here, we can at least start a new one. Anything that happened in the past can't bother us here.
Don't make me think about it. And let's not start painting any dark pictures before we know. They're here. You're so quiet. Does that mean that...
That volcano's there, all right. Spouting air by the ton.
So he was right. Well, then...
Laurie!
No.
Laurie, it won't be so bad. We took it hard, too, at first. Walking down there and all that, but... Look, I know it's not going to be so terrible. After all, we've gotten...
I know how you feel, as though you had nothing to look forward to. I felt the same way until I realized how really fortunate I am. That is, what I'm trying to say is, Laurie, I've been in love with you for a long time. I planned to tell you before now. I never seemed to be able to.
Oh, I was sure. I wanted to. You love me.
As long as I have you, my life's complete. Anything beyond that's unimportant.
Research of California has abandoned the scheduled launching of an experimental diving valve. J.R. Matheny, president of Marine Research, is rumored to have lost some $90,000 constructing the valve during the past 18 months. And now for a look at the weather. Early morning fog will cover the harbor area, little change in temperature.
Mr. Wyman to see you.
Send him in.
It's the first door. Go right in, please.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. Very pleased to meet you, sir. Sit down. You certainly got out here quickly.
I came directly from the airport.
The telegram sounded quite urgent. Suppose you elaborate for me.
Well, I understand you're giving up your plans to try your bell.
We've given it a lot of consideration. Well, the project has been costly, and we've devoted the entire lab to the bell's development. I'm afraid the wisest thing we can do at this time is just give up the project.
This, of course, because of the results of mine.
Wyman, if it weren't for your pioneering in research, this bell wouldn't have even been built. When your brother came to work for me, I knew where his ideas were coming from.
You mean your bell is similar to mine?
As you can see, the designs are identical.
The hatch, the cables, are they the same?
Why, yes. Why?
Matheny, I'd like to ask you for a personal favor.
A favor?
You have no confidence in your bell because it was patterned after mine, and rightly so. If I could take the responsibility off your shoulders...
What do you think, Ian?
I could make the dive myself. Same location as before.
Understand. How can you, of all people, consider doing this when you know that the bell is obvious?
I believe it can be done. I've always believed. If I can at least turn my failure into a success, I'll be doing a grave injustice to 4 gallant people.
What makes you think that the results would be any different this time?
Since I returned from the Caribbean, I've been like a man who was living apart from his own soul. I knew there was an answer somewhere, but when I searched for it, my mind just wouldn't function. I think it was because of my condition that I finally discovered where the bell failed.
You found the reason?
The chain broke not at the weakest link, but at the strongest.
I don't understand.
The bell was designed with supports to take a stress 5 times greater than what we anticipated. We even thought of using booms on 2 different ships. Added safety factor. We overcame that. Added couplings together with a pellet release system for balance. But in our extreme measures for added strength, we actually defeated our own purpose.
Until we stopped work here, the plans were to use 3 ships for support.
You don't need them. Depending on the overall weight descending, you must equalize the supports to parallel point of water pressure above and below 2,000 feet.
You mean it's the pressure pushing upward that causes stress?
Exactly. We went all out for strength and supporting the bell. And reached the point of water pressure where there was no up and down factor. The couplings ripped off the seams.
Wyman, I know what a successful operation would mean to you. I certainly want to help, but this has all come so fast. I don't know what to say.
Of course, I wouldn't ask you without offering something in exchange. I have a ship available to take us to the Caribbean. It's fully equipped. The owner will do everything he can to assist.
I suppose if I didn't go along with you, it'd only be a matter of time before you'd raise some money and be building another bell of your own.
Just mean an unnecessary delay.
However, I'm afraid there's one thing I'll have to object to. You're going under. But if I know that young brother of yours, you'll jump at the chance. Let's go out to the lab and see him.
Little I've had to fill it 3 times already this morning.
I suppose that means I'm not doing my share of the work.
Not at all what I missed. Anyway, we'll have some decent containers as soon as the men come back to the bell.
I hope they bring my camera back with them. I could use it for one of the decorations.
Craig said that they would only bring back the most important things. I'm sure your camera...
Craig said this. Craig said that. Craig said. What is he around here anyway? Some kind of monarch or something? He wouldn't take that old fool with him when he could use a couple of extra hands to help carry things.
I'm sure Craig knows what he's doing.
That's exactly what I mean. I'm fed up with his doing. Nobody's going to dominate me. I'll see to that. Nobody's trying. If you think I'm going to put up with this routine, you're crazy.
Dale, there's nothing I can do to make you feel any better.
Oh, yes, there is. And you're going to start doing a few things my way.
Dale, I don't want to argue with you. Will you just leave me alone?
I'll leave you alone when I get good and ready to. And so will Craig when the time comes.
Well, that's it. You're not getting all the attention.
You're pretty smug, aren't you? Just because we're all
That's
trapped.
enough. Dale, I don't want to discuss this again.
How many more trips is this going to take? This lung is nearly empty.
So there's just a few more things I'd like to get down there. You probably have enough air for one more dive. So let's make it count. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on you.
I found the original bell. It's 100 feet below me. Wait a minute. Unless I've lost my mind, I see 2 men in the water.
I telephoned above as soon as I spotted the other bell, and they still can't believe it. How is Laurie and Miss Marshall?
Well, they're doing all right.
How long have you been out of air? Only a few minutes. I've got some coffee. Good. There. Spin it around.
Better than the others.
That's just fine. I'm very glad you do.
I will help you.
That's all I need.
We will kill them.
They will what?
It is easy, like I killed Maurice long time ago. And after we kill them, we can be alone here.
Now you stay away from me. Stay away! Stay away from me!
Maybe I should kill you instead.
I really can't explain the feeling when we first saw the bell. We'd given up hope, and, well, nothing ever looked so good. I do wish the old man had been as fortunate as we are. If Mr. Wyman's up there, tell him that Laurie is fine. She'll be saying hello in just a minute.
Laurie, I think from now on my whole life will be changed. I realize how terrible I've acted. Do you think you can ever forgive me?
Of course I can, Dale. I've always wanted our friendship.
Laurie. Well, little lady, you've got the scoop of the year.
Well, not this time, Jimmy. The story goes to all of you.
I want you to meet your benefactor, Mr. Matheny.
Matheny was very grateful. We've only Wyman to thank. All his idea.
Can't thank all of you enough.
Come on, you people, move back a little. Let's give them room to breathe.
Room to breathe. You know, I never thought about it much, but there's nothing greater.
Well, I don't know about you people, but man, I'm ready for a 2-inch steak. Let's go!
Alright, welcome back to the flight deck. Let's grab the current weather down in Mexico. It's looking pretty good. So I just put it into the chat. Winds are 050 at 3 knots, 12 miles of visibility, skies are clear, 16 degrees, and the QNH is 3037. Let's fire that into here. Won't let me make that change there. That's fine. We'll leave that there then. 3037, I'll just make a note for when we do descend down through transition. So let's get down here and set up our arrival information. We're going to get rid of the map now. We're going to be coming down and making a right turn heading over to Mexico. But we can get rid of that for now. So into the index, we're going to go to our approach page. We're going to be running flaps 25 at 153, given our elevation. And that's good for there. Other thing we're going to need is to brief the approach. Pull this up here. So we are flying into the Anaga waypoint at the moment, and we're going to make the right turn. You can see us. We're going to circle around north of the city on these points here, descending down, and then we're going to turn in, come around the edge of the mountain range here to Satas, and then from there we head directly in for the intercept onto the ILS, landing here at the airport. So we're going to be coming in. We're going to be landing here on 05, what was it, 05 right? 05 right, which is this one here. We'll be getting off around there. We're going to be parking, let's see. We're going to be parking over here at the remote platform Tango. I know there's a bunch of little spots, but we're just going to take it up with the airplanes. They've got it set aside for us. So that is the plan. And everything is looking good so far. So our descent altitude is going to be down to 8,900 feet. If we pop in, come and take a look at some of these restrictions. We do have restrictions here as we descend down. So that's they want 11,000 feet. We're going to make that a hard 11,000. Go. And then at MX 901, that's going to be a hard 9,700. And if we come to the next page, MX 900 is their intercept, 8,900 feet, and we should be good to go from there. So we can pop back up here, and we can dial in 8,900 feet. Go. We're set there. So minimums are going to be 7,566 feet or 274 feet above the ground. We're going to put it over the radio just because I'm not dialing in 7,000 feet. And we'll set 274 feet on the radio. It moves fast. 274 feet on the radio for the minimums. If we have a missed approach, we're basically going to head out and we're going to proceed out to the Volon VOR. And then there's a big circling our Volon waypoint. There's a big circle around that we would have to fly. It's got a mark here in the blue, and that takes us around for another attempt from the south coming in on that one. But we're looking good. 29 miles to go to descent. Looking good. See the mountains starting to come in as we're flying up onto the higher elevation down here. We'll peg our speed at 280 on the descent. We have a speed restriction when we get to MX 755 of 230. We'll deal with that when we get there. Fuel's looking good. Do a quick run through of everything else. Electrical, hydraulics, air conditioning is all looking fine. I think we have a 747 out that way as well, or 737-800. And Kevin should still be somewhere behind us here. There he is. Looking very nice over Mexico there. As we come into the plateaued area where the Mexico City is. So we're 1 hour, 18 minutes into the flight. It's about an hour 43 for the estimate off of the flight plan, so we'll We'll see how we do. Usually it's pretty good. Takes the weather into account fairly well. Seven miles to go. She'll start down on her own. Once we hit the top of descent, there's our speed of 280. Come in here and we're going to take over. I'm going to select 280 and we'll just hold that speed. Top of descent, and down we go. Gonna come down here, do a quick rad nav check. So 1091 is the correct frequency, 55 degrees is the correct heading, so that is all nicely set up there. Let's dial in 115.9 as the airport VOR. That is set. And then we can leave the other one on its own volition there, tracking. So there's the two needles. There's the Mexico airport, and then we have the CUA VOR. Looks like we've got traffic around there, down to 10,000 feet. So it looks like he's landing in Mexico. So we're going to add a little bit of speed brake. Have to get our profile down. We're artificially restricting our speed. And we got to be at flight level 300 at Anaga. Mexico area traffic. Skyways 5556 heavy, descending through flight level 315 for the Anaga 2 Alpha arrival, ILS runway 05 right, Mexico City. Speed brake's coming back in. See if we can maintain this descent right now. We might not be able to, so we'll a little bit of speed brakes again. We'll let it do its own speed management here. I think I was interfering too much with it. At 755, we do have a speed restriction of 230. It does say that. Let's see if it can do it. Again, still learning the little tricks they got set up, or the little things they've got set up inside the new update. Interesting to see when we start down again. Very, very hilly out here. Oh, there we are, starting down again. So we have to be above flight level 270 at 751 and at 18,000 at 755. So we're going to put the lights on early, about 20,000, given that the airport's almost at 8,000 feet. Transition level is 19 or 5. So I'll be switching over fairly soon for that. There's our 270. So down here you can see the airfield. That is the Santa Lucia Airport. There's Mexico City down over there. There's a little bit of a haze as well. We'll have to watch which way the sun is pointing when we come in. Maybe that's going to be an issue. Are looking good. So Kevin's on his way down. Didn't hear a call, but that's fine. He's probably going to wait a little bit until he enters into the arrival.
Traffic, shuttle carrier 19 Tango, currently getting flight with 390 inbound on
Oh, there he is.
True Alpha right of the ILS 05 right.
Spoke a little too soon. We're heading down to the 18,000 feet. There's speed coming back. So we'll give it a little bit of a hand. Some speed brake. And we'll be able to, since we're going down to 230 knots, we'll be able to get down to 10 degrees on flaps on this leg here. So that's us through 180 or 285. We go flaps 1. Flaps 1 selected. And that's us through 265. We go flaps 5. And there's 245. That's flaps 10. And that will definitely help with the speed control. Well, that's going to bring us down too slow, so we're going to come in here, set 225 at the moment, and we'll hold at 225. We hold at 18,000 feet around the corner here to 759, which is this one, and then we start down from there. Might as well take her up to our maximum of 230.
Exclusive traffic shuttle carrier 1 Tango Heavy currently beam Inaga. We're inbound. Our current flight level 300 inbound on the Inaga Spiral 12 of the other surface.
We're looking good. Should set that over to RA. So at Almas we have a 210 restriction, and then at Sutas we have a 190 restriction, which is fine. We're looking good. We're going to be turning on the inside of this set of hills here, and coming along and then heading down that way towards the intercept point. There's that turn. Still going to be at 18,000. Looks like Giorgio Topo is down. IMWX is showing. IMWX is correct. So the identifier is picking up the station name for the ILS. There's our turn. We're going to be descending down to 14,000 feet now. And we have that 210 speed limit. It's 15 miles to run. Very interesting terrain out here. There's our pressure, so we're going to dial in our local pressure of 3037. So let's switch over, and 3037. It is set, and cross-checked. Checklist warning. So let's get over here. Clear it. We've done that. Right, so top of the set, we've already passed it by. We'll get the seatbelt signs on for the guys in the back. LNAV and VNAV path. Everything is looking good. Alright, speed's coming back to 210. We're going to go to flaps 20. We're below 235. Flaps 20. And then we're going to hold flaps 20 until we are lined up, ready to go. We've got one more notch to go for landing flaps of 25. And our approach speed is going to be 158. Zero, 14,000. Let's get the lights all on. And that's all good. Local lights not required. Passenger signs, we've already let them know. Speed is good. ILS frequency is done and verified. And it is reading. We are on approach. Well, we're on arrival. Approach is coming up. Starting to get some terrain build up. ILS and our localizer glide slope are indicating. We've got to be above 12.5 here at 717, and then above 11, or I've set it for 11,000 at Sutas. Turn outwards. Sending down to 11,000. Bring that speed back to 190 now. And we'll hold 190 until we are lined up. There's Mexico City in the smog. And the right skies are clear, but I don't know if we've got that 12 miles visibility. We'll see how bad it is when we get down. Train starting to build. No stutters or anything, so Kevin, I think you're right. I think it is the Phoenix that's doing it. We've made the decision to park it, so we'll be on the series I've been using it, the Canada tour and the around the Atlantic. We'll be switching over to Boeing products. Then we'll be flying the Fly UK 737-800 on the last leg of the around the Atlantic, and then we'll be switching over to a 737-700 for the tour of Canada. Not an accurate paint scheme since Air Canada never flew it, but I do have one, so we'll use it. There we go, coming in below the glide slope. That's good. Approach mode is armed. Localizer glide slope armed. Yeah, definitely when Block 2 comes out, we'll see how much they've fixed on it. $8,900 feet coming up. Let's let them know in the back we're just about to line up here. Localizer. There we go. So slowly descending down to 8,900. For the capture. So we got lights on, cabin's notified. These should all have been turned on. Oops. That's all good. We're all good there. Everything is good. Glide slope's coming in. Glide slope capture. Speed down to 158. Gear down. And we're below 210, so flaps 25. Landing flap set, gear down.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
3 green lights and everything else is set. Mexico City area traffic, Skyways 5556, short final runway 05 right, Mexico City. Alright, let's check 500 feet. I have control. comes up quickly once you make that corner. Landing. Definitely a bit of haze here. Gear down, get that nose down, reversers up. Manual braking. That's reversers off. And we're going to be off at Bravo. That speed down. Get her up the hill here. Mexico City area traffic, skyways, 55, 56 clear, 05 right at Bravo, taxiing to remote platform Tango via Bravo Delta Echo 1 Echo to the apron. Alright. I'll clear that. Let's get this checklist out of the way. Alright. That is good. Come up here, get the lights off, and taxi. We'll get the APU up and going. Flaps up, speed brakes up, and let's get around the corner here. On a little bit of a hill.
Mexico City traffic, traffic light 190 front overhead elements for inbound for the ILS 1905 right via Suntas.
There we go. Get that nose around. That hill didn't help. Alright. Turn off the train. Weather radar. Let's get down to where we're headed. Let's just do a quick gear wheel temperature checks are all good. The APU is up and running. The AP generator is online. going to stay on Delta until Echo 1. This is Echo 2. Little bit of a push needed. Try to keep it around 20 knots ground speed as we go through these turns here. See the mountains just washing out in the smog there. Oh, there's Giorgio Topo. We're going to be going kind of parking around where he is.
Mexico City traffic, shuttle carrier 190, go heavy currently, overhead, sun test turning inbound for the ILS from 05.
Here's Echo 1. Delta, and then we're gonna swing around, or Echo, and then we're gonna swing around and find a parking spot. Again, pretty big for this area, but that's okay. I didn't see your kind of designated cargo area here, so we'll just take what we can get. Probably go in the middle. Let's see. Is that one? That one. I think there's one at the end. Is there 3 or 4? There's 4. We'll go into Tango Alpha. Loop around here and park up. Gonna have to work this around the corner.
Mexico City traffic, shuttle carrier 190, go ahead, what is the correction? Established on the local, that's a runway 05 right 5 minutes.
Now we're getting there. There we go. And we are here. So let's get the parking brake on. Sun Express is leaving. That is great. So Taxi light is off. Left the strobes on. Strobe lights are off. Parking brake is set. APU is on. APU generators are on. We're going to hook in ground power as well. There we go. Fuel control switches can now come off. Engine bleeds are coming off. Hydraulic pumps are off. And fuel pumps are off. Windshield heat off. Anti-ice coming off. Beacon light will come down to off. Flight directors are off. Transponder is in standby. And that's going to do it. Alright, we are here in Mexico. And it looks like Kevin's down. Excellent. They're bringing the stairs in for us. That is great. Not sure where they're all going. But we're looking good. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Nick, thanks again for those gift subs. Greatly appreciated. And hope all you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we are back tomorrow, back in Japan, 1930 Zulu, where we are heading out of Osaka. Take care. Bye for now.